In the last two videos, we have done an accrual to cash conversion. Now we're going to do it a different way. We're going to go from cash to accrual. Attached to this video, you'll find a financial statement for Hain Celestial Group. It's also as part of your activity packet for days 7 through 14. So what we see on Hain is we see a balance sheet, and we see not an income statement on the bottom of that, but a statement, kind of a mini statement of cash flow. So how much cash sales to customers, cash paid for inventory production, cash from sales, those types of things. So let's take that data then and turn it into accrual. So the question I'm trying to answer is, what is Hain's accrued revenues? And that's the question I'm trying to answer here. Okay, well, again, it follows the same process. Again, in this case, since we're going to be ending with revenues, I'm going to put that on the right-hand side and make my T account. I know I'm going to be starting with cash because that's what we have. And again, we have the balance sheet accounts in the middle of this process. And just like the last process, the count that goes in the middle is accounts receivable. Because we can actually have sales, accrued sales, that don't necessarily involve cash. All right. What else do we know here then? We know that accrued receivables, and if we look at Hain, we're going to pick the beginning balance, and it's a balance sheet account, so it's a beginning balance is a debit, and it's 118,867, and the ending balance in that account is 114,506, 114,506. Okay, and they're labeled at receivables short term. And now we're ready to go. So how much cash did they receive from customers for sales? 139,667. Well, is that a debit or a credit? Well, again, this is cash coming in, so we would debit the cash account, 1,139,667. Okay, so that's a debit. Where is that going to go? Well, if that's a debit, then we need a credit. We'll put the 1,139,667. Well, what X makes that correct? There is some number X such that 118,867 plus X minus 1,139,667 equals 114,506. Solve for X, and that answer is, I believe, 1,135,306. Okay, and then that number ends up as a debit, so the other side is going to be a credit, and it gets posted over here to revenues, 1,135,306. And that is the accrued revenues that we would show on accrued income statement. Okay, so again, what would the journal entries we would show? I'm going to squeeze them in here at the bottom. Maybe I can erase a little bit here, so I can squeeze some of these journal entries in. So what journal entries would we show? Well, the first journal entry would have been cash for the 1,139,667 and accounts receivable of 1,139,667. What would that transaction be? Well, our customers paid us cash on some accounts receivable they owed us. Okay, and this last transaction would imply an accounts receivable of 1,135,306 and revenues of the same amount, 1,135,306. What does this transaction tell us? Well, we had sales on account for 1,135,306. Okay? So that is the answer to this problem on a cash to accrual conversion.